Welcome. Few people can truly claim to have never wondered about what happens after we pass away. It's a question that lingers in the back of our minds, even for those who outwardly dismiss it with cynicism or indifference. The question of life after death is a universal curiosity, one that even the most skeptical can't fully escape. The common belief that nothing exists beyond the boundaries of life, that death is merely a permanent sleep, has been challenged and in many ways disproved by those gifted with clairvoyance, the ability to perceive or communicate with the deceased. These individuals offer us a glimpse into the mystery of the afterlife, revealing a deeper, more complex reality than many might expect. Maurice Barbanell was one such clairvoyant who dedicated much of his life to exploring this uncharted territory. He provided a window into the afterlife, allowing those of us still living to understand and connect with those who had passed on. Barbanell claimed to possess the rare gift of direct voice, which allowed him to hear and relay messages from the spirits of the deceased. Though the departed no longer have physical voices, Barbanell believed they can still communicate with us through subtle energies that can be detected by highly sensitive instruments. His work brought new hope to those grieving the loss of loved ones, offering a connection that transcended death itself. From a young age, Barbanell was able to hear the voices of the deceased, and as he grew older, he began to use his gift to help others. People came to him seeking to hear from their departed loved ones, and Barbanell never turned anyone away. He meticulously recorded every session and transcribed these communications, eventually compiling them into books. These writings offered answers to one of humanity's oldest questions: what happens after death? According to Barbanell, the knowledge he shared came not from speculation or theory, but from direct communication with spirits from the other side. In his writings, Barbanell offered a comforting perspective on death. There is scarcely anyone who would not consider death a tragic event, he acknowledged. Yet he argued that death should not be viewed solely as a tragedy, as it represents the soul's liberation from the confines of the physical body. Rather than an end, death marks the beginning of a new phase of existence, one free from the suffering and limitations that often accompany earthly life. For those who remain, however, the pain of loss and separation can make death seem overwhelmingly sorrowful. Barbanell also suggested that a person's identity doesn't change immediately after death. While the soul may undergo a period of rest or adjustment, what some might describe as a sleep after passing, it eventually embarks on a new phase of existence. This new life, he believed, is not entirely unlike life on Earth, though it is free of the physical constraints that once bound us. In the afterlife, individuals take on a spiritual body, which mirrors their earthly form but is not subject to illness or suffering. Those who are blind in life will see, those who were deaf will hear, and those who couldn't speak will have a voice. Physical ailments and disabilities vanish. The afterlife, then, is a place where one can reconnect with loved ones, both those who were dear and, unfortunately, those with whom there was unresolved conflict. For Barbanell, the afterlife was not just a passive existence, but an active one. He explained that the spiritual realm was a dynamic environment where individuals who have passed can prepare for their next steps. Spirits in the afterlife know when a new soul is about to arrive and ready themselves to help that soul adjust to its new surroundings. This explains why some people report sensing the presence of deceased relatives just before their own death. In the spiritual realm, however, these meetings can be fleeting, as souls with similar spiritual vibrations tend to gravitate toward one another. In this way, relationships from Earth may be reformed or dissolved based on shared experiences and feelings. In his writings, Barbanell emphasized that the spiritual realm is not a distant or separate plane of existence, but one that overlaps with our own world. The unseen spiritual world is all around us, and those who are attuned to it, those who can perceive its vibrations, can sense its presence. The afterlife, according to Barbanell, is not a distant realm in some far-off galaxy, but a space intertwined with our own. It is here, just beyond the veil of our physical senses, and it is shaped by the actions, thoughts, and intentions of those who inhabit it. Barbanell's descriptions of the spiritual world suggest that in the afterlife, each soul finds itself in a realm that aligns with its character and life experiences. The realm we inhabit after death is a reflection of our inner nature. In the afterlife, there is no room for pretense. Everyone will know who you truly are. There is no ability to deceive, as the spiritual realm is a place where everything is laid bare. Those who were kind and compassionate during their lives will continue to be so, while those who lived with selfishness or cruelty may find themselves in a more challenging environment. It's a place where the soul's true essence is revealed, and change becomes difficult, if not impossible. For some, the afterlife may seem less like a reward and more like a reflection of the life they led. Barbanell suggested that those who were selfish or self-absorbed in life might find themselves facing difficulties in the spiritual world. Their earthly habits and tendencies will continue to affect them, creating what could be considered a kind of personal hell. On the other hand, souls who have evolved spiritually may be able to visit and assist those on lower planes of existence. However, those on lower planes cannot easily reach the higher ones, as the two realms are separated by spiritual boundaries that cannot be crossed without effort. Barbanell believed that our understanding of the spiritual world is often clouded by our perception of the physical world as the only reality. To those who dwell in the afterlife, the physical world is but a shadow, while the spiritual world is the true, enduring reality. To help us understand this, Barbanell compared the experience of dreaming to that of living in the spiritual realm. While we are asleep, the world of our dreams feels just as real as the waking world. But upon awakening, we realize it was only a reflection. The spiritual realm, Barbanell suggested, is just as vibrant and active as our physical world, but it operates on a different plane of existence, one that is perhaps more real than the life we know. According to Barbanell, dreams can also provide insights into our spiritual lives. While we sleep, our minds are free to wander and explore realms beyond the physical. Just as some people on Earth never have the chance to fully realize their talents or potential, in the afterlife, individuals have the opportunity to fully develop their gifts. Whether it's a beautiful voice that was never trained, an artistic talent never nurtured, or a poetic soul never given the chance to write, the afterlife offers the freedom to embrace and cultivate these gifts without the limitations of the physical world. Maurice Barbanell received many questions about what daily life is like in the spiritual world. He explained that in the afterlife, there are homes and clothing, but they are not created the way they are on Earth. In the spiritual realm, things are not built with bricks or physical labor. Instead, everything, including houses, is formed through the power of thought and made up of astral fluids, which are a kind of energy that exists in that world. Barbanell also said that life in the spiritual world is not just about work. It is also a place to relax and enjoy oneself. There is always an opportunity to learn, and people in the afterlife receive new knowledge in a way that suits them individually. Some people work on projects that require cooperation with others, while others focus on research or innovation in different fields. Many spirits work hard to help bridge the gap between the physical world and the spiritual realm. Some spirits even encourage humans to make discoveries, though many people on Earth are unaware of the spiritual assistance they receive. In the spiritual realm, there are no language barriers. Words, as we know them, are not used because they are an awkward and limited way to communicate. Instead, all ideas and thoughts are shared directly through the mind. Barbanell also explained that life on Earth might seem less significant when viewed from the perspective of the afterlife. However, he emphasized that this does not mean life on Earth is pointless. He pointed out that everyone on Earth has an important role to play, especially in terms of spiritual service. Barbanell explained that a person who has lived a meaningful life, someone who has helped guide others to the truth, created something beautiful, helped those in need, healed the sick, or comforted those who are grieving, has truly fulfilled their purpose. In one of his books, Maurice Barbanell shared the most important lesson he learned from his experiences in the spiritual realm, that the ultimate goal of life is the growth of our spirit. He believed that when we make the effort to express what is deepest and most meaningful within ourselves, we naturally attract spiritual beings who love and care for us and who wish to help us and others through our actions. Now, I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you believe awaits you in the afterlife? And how accurate do you think Maurice Barbanell's ideas are? Feel free to leave a comment below. Thanks so much for watching until the end, my friends. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give it a like. It really helps. Have a great day.